planet of good energy that activates your DNA, and then you're starting to think in a total different way, and you're leaving all this fear and hatreds behind you.
So has Hank and Lars's DNA been activated to a high degree, or
There surely is, yes.
which is
You are activated, and you have activated yourself several thousand years ago, but when you come into this realm, you have forgotten because you started over again, but you have been so much closer in touch with that intent. So therefore, you are now doing this work together, and for each of you doing different kind of work also. And there are many thousand on this planet doing this.
very good. How with our DNA activated and our vibration, which in it then it at once the DNA is activated, it then raises our vibration and our abilities. Uh, does it allow any lower vibrations to infiltrate uh,
No, it
this?
will not, because when you are raising up and your DNA is activated, your intuition is also very much sharpening, and you know when you are told the truth, or you know when you are lied to, but you also have to do some work to trust your intuition, and that is your higher self talking to you. If you listen to your intuition, as you call it, we call it something different, but we can call it intuition. It's the way for your higher self to communicate with in this density uh, with your with your inner understanding, and you know when someone is lying. Just trust it, and that you have to make some more effort to do. And we understand that it's not always that easy, because you are influenced in from so many ways, from media, from different interest groups, from debunkers, and some black ops still going on. So it's not so easy always to understand what is the truth. We are aware of that.
I wonder how is it that they've been able to have so much control over this planet?
For a very long time, many of you gave up because you couldn't see the purpose of put this energy into work, and you couldn't understand its relevance for your life. So you can say that many of you gave up before you even started. Then you are treated like a flock of sheep. But it's time to change that now, and it's going on.
Ah, very good. That's understood, and we appreciate this message as well. Um, Now, the planet itself, is it traveling through an area in space that is holding a really high vibration, which is also naturally helping the planet as well in this transition?
In a way, it does. In a way, it's influenced by the place your solar system is in the alignment with the center of the galaxy. So yes, you're going through a high vibration. That's why your planet also is reacting to this by maybe sometimes more volcanoes and hurricanes going on, because it's a very, very powerful energy.
It's interesting. I had a list of questions about that. Is that just since you brought it up just now? The same thing as with the sinkholes that are showing up. Is the planet actually expanding? Is it getting bigger?
Yes, it is, because the tectonic plates is moving more rapidly than it usually do, and when they're moving apart, that can create these sinkholes and also earthquakes. But we're trying to see to that you are not harmed.
And
But you
when you
are also getting the message when it's going to happen, so you have to be aware and listen to that.
and so basically we may have to move our location when we get that information. Is that
Not in the masses, but in the smaller groups, yes.
understood? And so, and when you say we're helping with that, so that you're speaking of, like, we see light ships all over the planet, they're being filmed everywhere. Uh,
Yes,
are those light ships are from some of the other civilizations?
yes, and from other dimensions. They try to manifest in a bigger way because you need to see to believe.
Absolutely. And so as the vibrate now, as we're traveling through this area in the alignment of the central sun, uh, you say it's increasing the vibration. This vibration will never lower again, will it ever?
No, it's not possible to go backwards in this.
So we're going to just keep evolving and evolving to higher states of consciousness then.
Yes, but you have to be aware it in different timelines it's going in different rates. So it's not always in this high rate that's going on now. Sometimes it's taking longer time for doing some changes.
Well,
And
we
that,
hear
and
we
that's depending of where you are in the universe for the moment.
And right now, this particular planet, like you said, is in an area that's traveling uh, in the sights of or the in alignment of the central sun. Um, so, how this planet will, this system, this entire solar system is traveling through this. How long will we travel through this, be in this alignment in terms of our linear time frame? I was told eight. I was told 18 years, not in a session, but from a channeled message.
This higher this higher frequency of change, this higher rate of change will be about 18, 20 years, yes. But you will be in this transformation for 68,000 years.
Oh, very good.
And sometimes it's going to be slow, and sometimes it's going to be fast.
It seems to be going rather rapid to many and very slow to others at the exact same time.
It does. Everyone that are afraid to let go of old values and so is just making it harder for themselves. But we're sending love to them also. And you should all do. You can
Absolutely.
do it in your all day, everyday life, in
Yes.
small portions.
That we are for sure. Well, I am.
And that is like, I think you say, sending forward. That if you gave a message to one, then soon thousand will be affected from it.
Sending it and holding the high vibration in our heart.
Yeah,
Um, okay.
that is necessary for you to do.
Understood. And is there, well, we've been told also that there is a group, and we spoke about this 2 days ago in a session, that has been making sure that that energy that's coming from the central sun is not affecting the planet too fast because it would possibly harm those who haven't uh, awaken to this bigger picture, or and their vibration is not as high as others because of their unacknowledgement or recognition or remembrance. Is this true that there is a, a sphere entities that are buffeting this energy to help?
Yes, that's absolutely true, but they also are protecting you from the changes your sun is going through.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not only from inside or on this planet, because the changes is going on in the total planetary system in your solar system. It's not only your planet. Every planet in this system is going through a change.
Yes, that's been said. I always just speak in okay, understood. Uh,
And yes, you are protected and helped. That's is monitored from a very high frequency beings that are very, very, very old. They are holding their hands over this transition, so to speak, like a shield, but that is on an energetic plane.
yes, I hear that there's many of them that have moved into the galaxy, and they're in particular around our sun. I think I caught pictures of them at one time. It, is that true that there's a picture I have, and you see these huge orbs, and I'm thinking, is that a lens flare? Because something said go outside and take a picture. Um,
It can most certainly be so, yes,
okay.
because it's the higher you vibrate, the closer are you to see what's really going on. So yes, it's most plausible that that is the fact.
And those same beings that actually have shown up on my videos and several videos, the little orbs, they can be any size that they desire. Those are individual entities, or are they collectives, those orbs?
It can be both, but the ones you are connected with often is from the same uh, is from the same energy level that you are working with for the moment, and from the same councils you're working with. They are there to enforce your energy to be able to keep on doing this work you are doing. But you also have to be aware that you're sending out energy, and they can also be perceived as you say, orbs. They come from your inner self.
I know I do a visualization. I'm blowing up, and the energy from my heart is going to the outer ends of the universe and back to me again. Is that effective at all, or is that
Absolutely.
okay?
Every intention you have to think of very closely what you put out in terms of words, thoughts, because everything is affecting everything else. You're creating this reality for yourself by your thoughts. So yes, you're helping in very much so to raise the knowledge and the awareness of what's going on. And that's we are particularly grateful for.
Excellent. Well, that's my intention, and Lars as well. I'm sure you're speaking of both of us, correct?
Yes, and thousands of others, light beings, as you call them, we call them enlightened beings that are working in the same frequency area and the same intention, that's spreading love, and understand that it's only one and powerful energy, and that is the true love.
Very good. That's why record these so they can get that message in real time, that there is a support system out there that loves them and that is supporting them, and to not to feel the fear and let it overwhelm them and stop them from their mission. A lot of times when people are in fear, they're embarrassed to speak about it, and they just hold it within. And so it's, I think it's, we believe it's important to share right now more than ever.
Yes, it is, because so much is going on, and it can be very confusing for many of you. But you, even, even when you feel very sad, you should be very aware of that you are never alone. Never alone.
And even in terms of sharing, not trying to force anyone to change their mind, but more like planting a seed and being an example. Um, I know I have one friend who gets very upset when he starts talking to people, and I say, well, just say it. It's been said, the seed has been planted, and at the right time, it'll bloom on its own. You can't get angry if they don't understand, or in that moment. But I think that's, is that a,
No, that is the wrong intention behind it in that case. If you feel like that you're getting angry when the message is not acknowledged directly, it's your ego that talking to you that you want a response back for boost yourself. But then you have told it in a wrong uh, intention. But
understood?
just as you said, plant the seed, and the seed will grow, and it will grow into fruits that then plants thousands of seeds that will grow, and that will, and so it goes on. So plant the seeds. It's the only thing you can do, and stand your grounds and listen to your intuition.
That's what we do when we post these videos. We talk about it afterwards, we talk beforehand. We, like this particular video, when we decided to make this and to have the session, we had a desire to clarify some of the things that we had said before. And just sort of intuitively, instinctively, you've given such amazing information that we totally appreciate, because you've clarified a lot of things without me even having to ask, uh, which is a very good thing. And we're very happy. Thank you. Thank you.
That's why we are here communicating with you, because we want this to be spread to as many as possible, but you can't enforce it on anyone. They have to absorb it by free will. You're living in a free will society and environment.
Well, I believe the listeners are receiving this. And man, like I said, we're extremely thankful. There was some clarifications that we had a desire to make. Are you the one who we may uh, inquire about these clarifications? Um,
They talking through me, yes.
Very good. One of the first clarifications, well, you've clarified a few things already. I won't even have to ask those, because we were thinking about, we were speaking about entities that live here on the planet. And I'll take this slow, and so I can be clear, um, that we're on bases, and bases underground. Now, when we spoke beforehand, Lars and I were speaking, and he was saying that there's negative extraterrestrials that may doesn't have any influence on us. But our clarification was, uh, are there bases underground? We don't care if they're negative or positive, but extraterrestrial bases on Gaia, on the planet Earth, and then we'll ask more questions to clarify. So just in case, because okay, so that is the first question, and it'll make sense when I ask the rest of the questions why I'm inquiring about if there are any. And out the first one is, are any negative extraterrestrial bases on the planet Earth at this time?
No, there is not. There is not any secret bases. The only bases that still cooperated with entities from outer space is your military bases. And
Okay.
sometimes, yes, they can be underground, but you are fully aware of them. So there is no secret societies or hidden agenda that is in effect now,
Okay. When you say
neither positive or negative.
Okay, so when you say we're familiar with, yes, Hank may be familiar, and Lars may be familiar, and lots of light workers are familiar, but what about those people who aren't familiar? That's why I'm asking this. So you say,
When we say we or you, we mean your military and your elite are very much aware of where they are, and but their influences is almost until nothing, because they have already given all the knowledge they have to give or can give to your elite and military. It's been going on for decades.
okay, understood. Now, with that being said, so are they still here on the planet, or have they been removed from the planet? And I'm just talking about the negative entities, or either dimensional or extraterrestrials. Are they still literally here, regardless if they have any influence whatsoever or not?
Some small groups are coming and going all the time, but that doesn't matter because they cannot influence anything more.
Uh,
So they are not living here in that sense that they have bases or anything. They come into your military grounds, communicate and try to make deals where they're not especially successful in doing, and then they leave.
okay, so with that said, it leads to another question. We are being told that there is a shield or a field that of stopping any extraterrestrials from coming in or out of this solar system to have is there a quarantine on this galaxy or this solar system where they can't? Now you just said they've been coming in and out. Is there, we're being told that no one can enter and no one can exit. Is that truth, or is that any validity in that? I don't want to call it, say truth.
That is
Validity.
false. They
Ah,
can penetrate because they're coming from a different frequency and manifest when they are already here. You can't shield for every frequency because they can change frequency whenever they want. So the
ah,
ships you are seeing is sometimes a living being. It's not in metal or in aluminum or anything like that. It's
yes.
manifest when it come into this reality for you to be able to see. They can also decide to stay hidden for
So,
your eyes not to receive what's up there in the sky.
excellent. So, with that being said, is what is the purpose for them telling us that there is this place is quarantined and no one can get in and out? Why do they say that to us? Why are they putting that out to us? What is the purpose behind that, from your perspective?
Uh, we are not really sure what it should benefit anyone to say that. I don't think it's a common knowledge throughout your planet. It's just coming from small groups that are putting out anything to make themselves knowledged, acknowledged. So
and and other I and so they're actually, that particular type of information is uh, affecting positive groups as well, and they're putting that information out there as well. Have
it makes many of you confused, and that's is not so good Because when you are busy thinking about, is this, is this the truth or is it a lie, you are not developing. So if you go with your intuition, you will know what is true. And you have to practice on this. Listen to your inner self. I don't think there is any being on this earth that not once had have a hunch of their higher self talking to them.
Well,
Everyone have this ability to access the intuition. And if you listen to that, you know it's just fear-mongering going on.
understood. Well, the reason why I say this, because a lot of the fear mongering that's going on, there's truth mixed with deception. So, um, and I mean, and that's where the confusing part, because we just were speaking about the spheres, those entities that are here and that have been helping and protecting us from the sun. Where that part is true, they say that particular group was the group that put the whole solar system into a quarantine and not allowing anyone in and out. And so, do you understand what I mean by part of it will be true, saying yes, they're here to help and they're because you said it yourself that they're uh, protecting us from the sun uh, with some of the energy that's coming off the sun, and at the exact same time, they're also saying that they've quarantined the whole area. So. Thank you for clarifying.
You, some of you talking about everything in these matters like it's some kind of border you have to protect. There is no border. It's flowing freely through all the universe and have always been. There is no shield or anything that can use to protect from a thought. Your thought can travel wherever you want and as quick as you want.
Well, I'm talking about, uh, they said the shield was keeping negative extraterrestrials from coming in and influencing or in and out of until there's been a change on the planet. They're calling
You
it
are
advanced.
protected, but not by your shield. You are protected by an agreement, on a universal agreement, as you can say, some kind of galactic federation, if you can call it like that, that have agreed to protect the solar system from being attacked from anything. But that's because you cannot break the rule of the universal law and the divine law.
Which is free will. I mean, in this particular universe, is this a free will universe?
Yeah, yes, but that's all over the universe, not only on this planet. There always been a free will, but some of you have decided to not go through any changes because of you are afraid. Many of you are afraid for any changes at all. But you talk very much in your countries and the country around you, talking in the terms of protect all the time, like you need to have border control. It's not working in that way in the universe. You can't protect from energies. You can't stop energy from coming.
I love that. Thank you. I mean, that's huge. I mean, this is huge what you're saying. It really is because there are a lot of people who absolutely believe that. They really do believe it. And then there's so many others who have seem to have had so much respect for that are jumping on the same bandwagon and believing it as well. And I'm like, are you well, okay, thank you.
You should start to listen to the original beings from your country. They are thinking in a total different way and have been doing this for decades and thousands of years. So if you listen to their knowledge and their understanding and their way to look at that you are on a mother earth, it's literally your Mother Earth, and you have to respect it in any way. You can't make force, you can't make harm to benefit a few. That will we have to set stop